Ibrahim Traore is Burkina Faso's president today, courtesy of 2 military coups in 9 months, that is, January and September 2022. He became the world's youngest head of state at 38 when he and other junior military officials ousted Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Damiba, who also ascended to the presidency in a coup that year. Captain Traore has been lauded for his numerous achievements in Burkina Faso within his short stay at the presidency, though he and his regime face criticism from those who find his rule as dictatorial. In today's video, we shall be looking at something very imperative. Ibrahim Traore wants to step down as president of Burkina Faso, but the people say no. Give this video a like and subscribe to The New Tourist before we ride on. On July 1, 2024, the transitional government of Captain Traore was supposed to come to an end. Recall that when Ibrahim Traore came to power in 2022 and was appointed interim president of Burkina Faso in October of the same year, he pledged to give support for a transition, leading to elections that were scheduled for July 2024. This means that the military government, which has been ruling Burkina Faso for more than a year, is about to end. In line with this, Traore's administration recently announced that they will hold national consultations at the end of this month to determine the next steps in the nation's transition to civilian rule. According to a press release signed by Minister of Territorial Administration, Emile Zerbo, and read on national television, state meetings will enable representatives of the nation's active forces to deliberate on the next steps to be taken for the transition, as stipulated in the October 14, 2022 charter, the announcement said. The minister's statement further revealed that the meetings will bring together representatives from civil society, political parties, and the military to take stock of the past months and decide whether to continue the transition and what that continuation would be. This announcement came after all 71 members of the Legislative Assembly for Transition, the LT, approved a plan for a transition forum, leaving it to the sovereign people who will meet during the National Forum to decide the development of the transition. All these moves were in preparation for what happens next after the transition period of Captain Traore ends this July. But the question is that what the citizens of Burkina Faso want? Do they want a new leader who will be elected to replace Ibrahim Traore? Not surprisingly, the answer is no. The citizens of Burkina Faso have enjoyed the leadership of Ibrahim Traore so much so that on May 11, thousands of Burkinabé gathered at the municipal stadium in Ouagadougou, the capital city of Burkina Faso, to pledge support for the extension of Traore's transition period. This is historic. It is very rare for citizens in African countries to come out en masse to demand that the current ruling government continue to rule them. In fact, in the last 2 decades, it has never happened. But this is what is happening in Burkina Faso. The interesting thing is that the thousands of people who gathered were not only Burkinabé locals. They also included activists and visitors from neighboring Sahel countries. This means that those people who think that Ibrahim Traore was the one who probably pressured the citizens of Burkina Faso to come out and support him are dead wrong. He cannot influence people from outside Burkina Faso. People came to support him from all over. These people, including activists within and outside Burkina Faso, came to support Traore because they knew how committed and dedicated he had been to the country. Thousands of citizens came to support Traore, yet no Western media carried this news along. This just proves the point that those media platforms are used by the West to control the narrative of African countries to suit their interest. Imagine if it was the reverse. Instead of citizens gathering to support Traore's government, they gathered to demand an end to the swift transition to civilian rule. There is no doubt that Western media will be the first to spread the news. It is obvious that the Westerners don't want the world to know that the citizens of Burkina Faso love their president, who is a military person, and do not want any civilian president. This is because it will prove that democracy, which has always been touted by the West as the best form of government for any country, might not just be the best. But they forget about the fact that this does not have anything to do with the system of government, rather it has to do with the type of leader. Democracy, monarchy, or communist system of government doesn't matter for Africans. who have suffered for decades under so-called democratic governments. What is more important for Burkinabe is a strong and patriotic leader who is ready to protect their interests. Since he assumed power, President Traoré has done just that. So why will people protest for an extension of his rule? Before the day the public manifestation took place, the chief coordinator of the Black African Defense League in Burkina Faso, Rasmain Sow, stated that, together in unity and solidarity, they could build a better future for Burkina Faso. He encouraged Burkinabe to stay connected and warned them about hostile forces that sought to distort the rally. He'd also called on citizens to be vigilant that any attempt to hamper the event will be seen as an attack on Captain Traoré and his government, and by extension, such actions will be considered as a betrayal to the nation. The strongest possible terms of the National Coordination of Civic Watch Associations stated that the rally should be a historic and solemn event. What all this means is that a lot of preparation went into the organization of the rally, and on the D-Day, thousands of Burkinabe locals, activists, and visitors from other countries came to support Traoré's administration. Correspondent organizers of the rally believe that the elections are unacceptable to maintain peace in the country and are asking for changes to the constitution to fully liberate and revive the country. We do not want to hear about another president. We don't want elections. Leaders of local civil society organizations chanted, and why not after all? Since the death of Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso has suffered under the rule of incompetent and greedy leaders who care only for their interest and that of the West. However, since Traoré came to power, he has set the country on a great path. Just take a look at all that he has achieved in Burkina Faso in terms of agriculture. According to members of the National Coordination of Citizen Watch Associations, the acquisition of a significant number of tractors, plowing equipment, seeds, and agricultural inputs for the 2024 agricultural campaign in Burkina Faso has led to food self-sufficiency. For more than 60 years, the people of Burkina Faso have been made to understand that a certain number of crops, such as wheat, could not be produced in the country. But today, with Captain Ibrahim Traore, Burkina Faso is included in the list of wheat-producing countries in Africa and the world. That is not all Traoré has achieved in Burkina Faso's agricultural sector. In 2023, he launched two major agricultural programs called Operation Agripastoral Offensive and the Presidential Initiative for Food Self-Sufficiency, where several initiatives have been carried out to fulfill the objectives of these programs. In February 2024, the Emergency Project for Increasing Agricultural Production in Burkina Faso was launched in conjunction with the African Development Bank Group, which provided close to 40 million euros to help bolster food security in the country against the impacts of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. This unwavering commitment to the agricultural sector is a result of Traoré's vision of a Burkina Faso that is food sufficient. Aside from agriculture, Traoré is also committed to boosting the potential of the mining sector in the country. In 2023, Traoré banned the export of gold in order to put the gold mining sector in order. He built a gold refinery and a mining waste facility, which has helped to create value and job opportunities for the Burkinabe populace. Just like his mentor, Thomas Sankara, Traoré refused to receive a presidential salary and also cut down the salaries of Burkinabe politicians. According to him, it is not right for a few people in the country to earn millions of CFA francs, while millions are struggling to afford the basic necessities of life. He didn't just speak about cutting the salaries of politicians, he also said that the whole system needs to be balanced and corrected for the society to be stable. In terms of security, Traoré has been hard at acquiring weapons and military equipment, outfitting the soldiers, and collaborating with militaries from other countries, including Russia and the Alliance of the Sahel, to ensure that Burkina Faso is safe again. These and many more have been achieved since Traoré came to power. It is no wonder that early this year, the World Governance Index placed Burkina Faso as one of the top best-governed countries in Africa, beating several others that are mostly ruled by civilian governments. Indeed, results do not lie. The upcoming season is very important for Burkina Faso because it will determine the trajectory of the country. Will Traoré end up stepping down as president of Burkina Faso, or he will continue to rule? What are your thoughts about this? Share with us in the comments section. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the new Tourist channel. Turn on notifications too so you get notified whenever we upload videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you in our next video.